I get back. I'm up a piece. If he doesn't take, by the way, I'm threatening mate. He's down a whole piece. So right now he's down a whole piece. And he says, oh, I'm going to get that piece back because it's trapped. It can't go anywhere. But I have my own ideas of ways to attack and harm my opponent. So he just takes because, right? And remember, I was up a piece. So now I'm up the exchange. Now I'm up the exchange, the rook for the knight. And his king is way out in the open. Thank you very much. And he resigns because it's mate in one again. All right, so those all look good, right? Like, oh yeah, okay, they seem simple. It seems easy. Well, I did have a loss and playing aggressive. Here's my loss. Let's go look at the loss. Because I was playing overly aggressive on purpose, right? We don't mind. That was the mission at the time. So I played the King's Gambit, variation that I've found from the Ginger GM. Get his full name. And this was just bad for me. I got exposed early and I sacked the bishop for the pawn, right? I'm going to bring the king out. I'm just trying to cause trouble because I didn't do well and I lose this game badly. Just badly. And he got on the offensive early and kept it. So he got the initiative and was able to destroy me. Mostly I missed the fact I missed this. This was bad. I couldn't allow that. So probably I needed to kick the bishop first.
If you're in a position where your opponent has checkmate, should you resign or let it play out?
Up to you. So my standard answer is make him checkmate you. And the reason that you have to have him checkmate you is because he might not see it. He might stalemate you depending on the situation on the board, but he just might not see it. He might blunder. And whatever you did to get in that situation, he can equally make a mistake and get back into that same problem. So right now I have only one legal move. I can't even take, or I could take with the queen. And then the queen could just take back because the rook still can't take back. And if I go here, then he has checkmate here. But the question is, yeah, I don't know if he would have seen it. I should have moved here, but I think I couldn't decide between here and here. And so at the time in the actual game, when he moved, I was like, no, I was at 316. I had one game where I was really low on time and I was like, I'm not gonna, I'm wasting time trying to find a good move. I'm not gonna find a move and he deserves a win. So I just gave it to him. But yeah, this one I didn't mind. I did resign partly because I was like, nope, let's do another game. Because I'm trying to show the principle in action. And so I didn't want to just drag out the game. I want to get another game in for the stream. So that was that game. And then I had games where I should have lost. I believe this was the last one. Might have been. Let's see. Because I was losing one. And again, finding aggressive answers, I was able to pull it out. Again, not playing good openings, not playing well thought out anythings. I'm just trying to be aggressive. Still following the principles of developing my pieces so that I can be aggressive. I mean, that's part of it. You got to develop your pieces. You got to get them out in the open. Oh, this guy ran an analysis on this game because I didn't. So if either one of you runs an analysis, it gets put in. And so he ran an analysis. I did not. Yeah, interesting that he ran it. No, I mean, he ran an analysis because he lost, and he's probably, rightfully so, wanting to say, what could I have done better? What could I have done different? How could I have done, what could I have done? So bishop takes d4 was the answer. I remember this in the game. I was like, why didn't I just take the knight? And I didn't, and I should have just taken the knight. That was a blunder on my part. So now I'm down the exchange, right? Now I'm down the exchange. I have a knight and a bishop. I mean, two bishops, a rook and a knight. He has two rooks. So I'm down the exchange, and he loses this game in the end because of, again, I'm sacking a piece. I'm opening up his king. He doesn't take. Remember, I told you a lot of times you do a sacrifice, they're like, no, no, I can't take. So I first threatened the queen. I toyed so long with just taking here, or going here and trying to get a mate. But I decided to chase the queen first because I don't remember why. Now I'm threatening mate. And he can't take the bishop because it'll be mate. He can't take the knight because it'll be mate. He can't push the pawn because it'll be mate. And this was said not to be the best move. The computer says the best move is this right here. Just do that. Okay. But anyway, I did this. He took. Oh, he could take there. I'm sorry. Right, because, yeah. Sorry, he couldn't take there. And so I took this pawn again, right? Just looking for attacks, looking for ways to be aggressive. This is bad for him. He loses that piece, right? Loses the rook back. And things start falling apart. Now I block off the rook's protection. Not that I'm going anywhere yet. He could keep pushing the pawn if he wanted to, but he trades. And he's trying to push the pawn. And now I'm threatening check. And then mate. And I don't see how he could stop it. So he plays h5 to free his king, and then he resigned. Do you see why he resigned? Because it's still mate, I believe, if I remember correctly. If I remember correctly. Is it still mate? I thought it was still mate. Or does he just lose his rook? Oh, yeah. Check. And then he loses the rook. And then these guys will never queen, and it's an easy win. Anyway, so again, being aggressive. So we can test that theory again with you guys. That'll be fun. So you guys can go search. I did 5 plus 3. If you're comfortable with 5 plus 3, if you're comfortable with 3 plus 2, if you're comfortable with 5 plus 0, you could pick your time control. I always do an increment because I hate losing on time. And when I get down to like 30 seconds and I'm just moving and I stop thinking, I feel like I'm not playing chess. Now, of course, it'd be nice if I don't get down to 30 seconds, but sometimes it happens. And if I had an increment of just 3 or 2 seconds, then I know I can gain back enough time to think really fast, but still think. And I don't feel that same type of, oh, it's too much pressure. I'm not going to be able to think, and I'm just moving. So
I like no increment because sort of the flip side of that is I like seeing my opponent struggle with their time, just glancing back and forth between the clock and the board.
Totally up to you. I don't mind if you play without it. I was just explaining why I use an increment. Besides the fact I'm streaming and trying to talk through the moves. So you feel free to do it without an increment, but who wants to go first?
I volunteer as tribute.
All right, let's have you either find a game. Oh, I don't see anybody on stream yet with us, so you could just go for it. Let's see, what is your name on here? See Emperor. Hey, yes, Blitz. All right, did you want to play him? You could play him.
Wait, what?
We might have someone that's willing to play you, but I prefer. I mean, you can Gridiron. Feel free. Okay, Gridiron will play you. The only reason I wouldn't want you playing is because you know what we're going to be trying to do. So it's kind of like it's kind of unfair because you know what we're doing. You have a time for a few? Okay, well, go ahead. You can do it. So again, Elijah, you know what we're trying to do. I need to see that aggression.
Yes.
All right, so one of you can, if you want to challenge Gridiron Grace, you can. You get to pick the time control, so he has to live with that. Oh, well, thanks, Gridiron. That makes me feel good. He hasn't been paying attention to the stream at all.
Gridiron. Oh. Oh, no.
What's wrong?
His rating.
Oh, don't worry about it. And you're playing rated. You're playing rated, so it'll put more pressure on him than you. If you lose, it won't matter. It won't hurt your rating. Think of it that way.
All right.
All the pressure's on
I
him.
have a 5-minute Do you want to do a 3 or 2 second increment?
None. You said you don't like increments.
Okay, all right.
You're not playing me. And I would have let you pick it without increments even if you were playing me. I was explaining to you why I do an increment. All right. We got a game. I'm going to mute myself so you can't hear me. And neither will Catherine, but anyway. This way I can talk about the game and our student can't hear us. So right now, variation he's playing, don't know how he's going to get a sacrifice into this, but it'll be interesting to find out. On that one, I would have preferred he just played the bishop out to here, but he's playing reckless. I don't know that he's playing aggressive. That's all I can say. I don't know if this counts as aggressive, but it's definitely reckless. So I want you to play with reckless abandon. Well, actually, I just want you to play aggressive. So let's see how much trouble he gets himself into. So the other rule is when you're playing aggressive, it's not playing aggressive ignoring the principles, right? That's reckless. We want to play following the principles and play aggressive. So there's that blend that he has to find where he's playing aggressive and at the same time following the principles. Yeah, you that's what happens when you break the principles.
Oh, wait.
Oh, wait, what? Oh, he does have it back. He thought he lost the queen for naught, but the queen was protected by the bishop. And he's still alive. And actually, right now, he's only down a pawn. He doesn't have the greatest pawn position, but he's only down a pawn. He could have put the question to the bishop right away. Realized he can't push d5. So now he's going to push that one. And he's got the bishop trapped. That was good. Does he see it? He does see it. Still has the bishop trapped. Still has the bishop trapped, but he's got to be careful. He's going to let that bishop get away. Not yet, he doesn't. But now his bishop is in trouble. Should have just moved his bishop back.
Shoot.
And again, shoot. Yeah, but he gets to take and have that pawn almost queen. I think he's in fine shape. Now his opponent has to watch out for that pawn forever. I'd be playing king to, d7, attacking the pawn. Can't protect that pawn, and the other pawn he's got to stop and keep out of the back rank forever. So I would definitely be taking that pawn in a heartbeat because I need to get rid of it. It's too far down in my area. I do not want that pawn alive in my area. So let's see if he figures that out. Yes, he does. Taking away squares from his opponent, but now Elijah has nice moves, like bishop to f5. Yep, right there. By the way, he's also up a bishop still. Somehow, I thought he had gotten the piece back, lost the piece back, but he didn't. When he got the bishop back, I thought, oh, okay, he's down a piece, but he's not. So yeah, he's actually doing fine. Don't put the bishop in front. That'd be a total blunder. He's actually doing fine. Really scary to move that other rook because then he gets to queen the pawn. By the way, even if he doesn't move the other rook, he gets to queen the pawn because it's protected by the rook. See, that's a forced move right there. Now he should get the other rook involved. He actually has good threats if he finds it. Nice job. And he's playing aggressive, right? Be offensive, be aggressive. Catherine does this, I think, naturally. This is kind of her style. But I want her to do it smartly and within control of the principles. Now he's going to lose that. Yeah, there you go. You're going to lose the H pawn anyway, so don't bother trying to protect it. This is much better. Oh, this is terrible. This is terrible for white, I think. Let's see. Can you punish? I think you just bring the rook all the way down and you should punish easily. Trade off rooks. The king has to sit there, can't move. Yep. Yep. Now he can push that H pawn. He saved his H pawn. Or he can, oh, he's going a different route. I wouldn't have went this way, but that's okay. He could have played the rook to A7, protecting the H pawn through X-ray and telling the rook, go find a new home. He could have also played H5 because he could have taken his time because the rook wouldn't have anything to attack. Now the D pawn is the only suspect pawn, but I would have went that way. But this works. I like it. It's aggressive. And so now Gridiron says you can't have that pawn. But now the king is free to get into the game. So let's see if the king can find a way to get into the game. Time to send the bishop elsewhere. I mean, you're up a whole piece. I don't know why you went there, but I like the F file better. This seems to not work, in my opinion. Yeah. And we have another pawn drops, and now he has a plethora of pawns, but can he find his way? I think he's going to find his way. But see, now that bishop, if it was on F, that bishop could do some checking. Right now, that bishop is stuck doing nothing because he locked his own bishop out of the game. See, now he puts it on the F file, so he can have an active piece. And checkmate. Look at that. So I was saying, I muted myself so you couldn't hear me, Elijah. So you got to tell me, Catherine, I was saying during the stream, plays this way anyway. She likes playing aggressive, especially with blitz. I don't know that she plays as aggressive, but I think she does, even in the game in 30 time control we do on Saturdays. But I think she plays reckless. How did you feel? Is this normal for you to play this aggressive?
No, I'm going to be completely honest, because when I usually play as black, white has the opening advantage, so I play a lot more on the defensive.
Okay. So I didn't mind. Let's look at this real quick. So I like that you played aggressive. That was the mission. That was the thing you're supposed to do. Yes, king, the super aggressive one. But what I didn't like was that you didn't follow the principles to do it. So by being aggressive, I don't mean playing reckless. And bringing the queen out early is reckless, not aggressive. So it looks like it's aggressive, but it's reckless. So I much would have preferred you to do normal, but look for opportunities to offer sacrifices of pawns and pieces, and just look to be always attack, even if, you might have been like, well, just be quiet here. No, just attack. So I didn't like it because you weren't following the principles. Okay? You were just aggressive with the queen, and that isn't the equivalent of offensive principle of war. And I think that's a mistake a lot of beginners make when they try to be aggressive. They just use their queen, right? It's like, oh, my strongest piece, I'll go out there and attack everything. Well, as you saw, your queen almost got trapped. I think it might have gotten trapped, but he didn't finish trapping it. I think you had opportunities to try to trap the queen. So like the queen here is like, oh, what's he doing there? I don't know. What's he doing there? So now I'm looking at things like, oh, after you put the knight here, it comes up. So he moved the piece twice, which makes sense because you're not developing your other pieces. You're moving pawns. And now I'm looking at things like going here. Right? And start chasing your queen around. I'm looking for opportunities to chase your queen. I was looking at things like pinning your queen, the knight to your queen. These were the things I was looking at.
Yeah.
Anyway.
The move he made.
Mm-hmm.
Where
he took.
I think it's move 9. What he did with his knight.
Yep, taking. Yeah.
I thought that he next level tricked me into just giving my queen away.
Which usually happens when it's the bishop is here. This is a kind of a known trap with not exact this positioning, but if the bishop were here, not the queen, if the queen were still here, then yeah, that drops the bishop. But nope, I don't know if you realized or you just saw it after you were like, well, I got to take. And
I
so
only
you took.
saw it after he took my queen.
Yeah, so now you're up a piece, right? You're up a whole piece. So he ended up sacking a piece. I don't think he realized it. So he just sacked a whole piece. And then you got really smart in here. I really like this move. I don't know if you knew it, but this sets up a trap.
Yeah,
this is a common. Yeah, that's a common trap to trap the bishop. And you got it. You got it. And you did everything right. And here's where you fell down. You allowed him to pin your bishop when you could have just said, nope, I'm just going to move away. Because if you just move away, I mean, if he pushes, you just take the bishop, right? You're going to win the bishop now. He doesn't have a way to save it. He was trying to save the bishop heroically. So you gave him a way to save the bishop. But you did fine. You took it. And remember, you were up a piece anyway. So all you did was not get up 2 pieces. So this is a thorn in his side for a long time, and it was. So you did, and I thought you had to take the pawn. So I thought you did really well. Take the pawn, even though he gets a little bit of momentum, not enough. He's like, oh, I can't leave, because if he leaves, you still queen. He doesn't even have to leave. If he just doesn't check you, you can queen, and when he takes, you take back, and you get a whole rook. So everything was looking good here. I like this move. I like this move. I don't like the next move. Oh no, I like this move. This was good. But then I didn't get the bishop move down here. It's okay. I thought you could go here and say, let's trade. Because you're up a whole bishop. You could give him this pawn. You're up a whole bishop. You have an extra pawn here. You should have no problems, right? So I was like, just go here and win and see if he wants to trade. The other option was to push the pawn here first, because you have time, right?
Yes.
Yep.
My thought process was, I kind of thought that the H pawn was gonna die no matter what I did. I didn't see the trade.
Oh yeah, you got this way could save the H pawn, but this saves the H pawn even easier. And he could go after this pawn, but that's easy enough to protect. He can go after this pawn. That one you can't protect. But, that's why I thought, okay, he went after this pawn. He's trading that pawn for that pawn, and your opponent was like, no. I don't want you putting that bishop here, and then the rook. Then I have a rook against the rook, and my king is trapped, right? My king can't play. So he didn't want to do that. Kind of liked it. I thought, okay, he's being aggressive. And here was a mistake in my mind. I thought you should have went here or here. Because I still want to have scope. I want to be able to do stuff. You put it where the bishop can't move.
Yeah, I was trying to.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to do something with the H pawn.
No, it doesn't matter. The game's over here right now, not the H pawn. So you took your bishop out of the game. As you saw, you needed to bring it back into the game. This was a nice check. That was a nice check. And boy, if that bishop were here or here, you would have had mate. You would have had mate right then. But he missed that it was still mate. So good job. Good job. but you broke my principles. When I say I want you to be on the offensive and I want you to be aggressive, I don't want you breaking the principles to do it. Okay?
All right.
Bishop to e6, rook to f8 is also good. Yeah. Oh, you have a lot of good things right now. All right. Catherine, you ready for your turn?
That was beginner's luck on my
Yes,
part,
sir.
by the way.
All right. Gridiron, did you want to play another one or you could do one more? All right. So you could challenge Gridiron Grace. I will mute my stream with the kids so they can't hear my commentary. Gridiron, you should probably turn off the volume also so that you don't hear me talking, to be fair. And let's see if we can get a game. So it's against Gridiron Grace. One word, just like he is in the chat. All right, I'm going to mute myself with the kids. And Gridiron has to turn me off on his. So what we're doing tonight is talking about one of the principles of war, offensive. And it's a good one for beginners to use because we want them to learn to be aggressive, to be the aggressor in their games. It's easier to play if you're on the offense than on the defense. And that's basically what the principle says. You want to gain the initiative and keep the initiative. Yeah, you haven't, King. Yeah. So a lot of trades makes it hard to be uber aggressive. That's all I'm going to say there. So she's got to stop trading at some point, but that's okay. She's doing fine. We just want her to keep being aggressive. So she is developing her pieces. Now, to me, an aggressive type of move would have been, instead of the queen developing move, would have been this move. That to me would have been an aggressive move when the bishop was here. Instead of bringing the queen to here first, I would have pushed the pawn and broken up and had that attack. See, this move, I would have made 2 moves earlier. That to me would have been what I'm looking for as far as an aggressive move. If that makes sense. Here I'm not crazy about it because if he takes, then the knight falls. You get double pawns, and we're getting reckless with our pawn structure. But there's other opportunities. In fact, she could throw a check in first on f7 before she ever takes back the knight. So that's a nicety. Not too many good choices. Yep, got to run away. And now the knight is hanging, but that's about the only thing she should be worried about because she's playing aggressive, and I like it. So she needs to find ways to keep being the aggressor, even when the knight is at risk for the moment. And I could see her just putting the knight on there, yeah, because then the bishop can protect the knight. If he attacks the knight with the queen, she could protect it with the bishop at b3. And she's solid, and she's solid for the moment. So again, b3 would protect the knight, and there you go. She finds it, but that made her. I know she was feeling defensive. Here, maybe pushing the pawn would have been more aggressive, but that square f7 is still a good square. Don't get this move at all unless she's really wanting to push c3 for some reason. Oh, the rook was hanging. Never mind. The rook was hanging. It wasn't, so right here. Okay, yep, the rook was hanging. Okay. She had to get the rook out of. Now, she could have aligned that rook with the queen, and then a check would have won the queen. So, alignment, guys. And it would have kept the bishop from being able to attack. Not that the bishop can attack here or here. But I really love alignment. You know I love alignment. I would have went for alignment. I would have went for alignment. And you would have played pressure on d6 before playing f4. I'm with that too. That's fine. Yes, as long as we're being on the offensive, add more pressure to the backward pawn. I like it. I have no problem with that. Okay, I'm missing some moves. You guys are missing the game. Sorry. A lot of trades. Don't know that we're playing aggressive as much as we are just trading off everything. Yep, and then it could come back here to threaten the bishop, but not what I'm looking. I'm looking for more aggressiveness. That a pawn can be goner if he tries to attack the knight. Got to be careful back rank mates because the poor king has no squares. If you attack the bishop just gets to take c3. So I thought that might be what came next. Must be careful though. Gridiron does have some nice threats if he finds them. Oh, just sacks the bishop. Went all out sack crazy here, guys. I'm surprised. I did not think he'd be sacking that bishop. I'd be taking it. I don't see a mate. Yeah, I think it was more to keep the knight there, I think. I don't know. Yeah, the opponents, but now Gridiron is being aggressive. So Gridiron is kind of doing what we told her to do, which is sack, sack, sack. Not sack, 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 but be aggressive and sack when you get the chance. And I'm missing how this works. I'm totally missing how this works. And I don't know why Catherine's taking all day. I would have taken that bishop. Maybe she's seeing, okay, why didn't she take the bishop, guys? What am I missing? Why wouldn't she take the bishop? Now it's like he's got mate threats. Why would he not? Why did she not take the bishop is my major question. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. I think she was fantasizing that he had a mate because I don't see it. I wish someone would show me what she was worried about. Now I think she's lost. Now I don't see how she can win this game. Oh, off to college. Like you. You went to university, she went to university. So maybe rook to f3 holds the position for a little while. No, it doesn't, because the other rook comes down and says checkmate. So she is in over. Yeah. Yeah, just like you. But good memory. Because, yeah, the other sister hasn't been on for a long time. In fact, Elijah wasn't on when the other sister was on. I usually had both sisters, so. I don't think she's going to find a way out of this because I don't think there is a way out of it. Yeah, and that last move opened up the king. So why didn't you take the bishop is the question we all want to know.
Because how does this thing work?
Yeah, because right here, black is on this move, right? On this move, black is winning immensely. Black is up 5.7. This is a blunder that allows white equality. And I want to know, and this is good, even though we're trying to learn how to be offensive and aggressive in nature. This is good because for some reason you got scared of taking free candy.
My mind thought the queen could move through pieces and check on protected spots.
Yes, I thought that was true. I thought you thought somehow this was going to be bad. Like he could go here somehow or go here.
Sir.
And even if he could, isn't that, I mean, that's still draw, right?
They would be doubling up on the knight.
You're worried about it doesn't happen. But even if it doubled up on the knight, that would just be trading back the piece, right?
Yes, sir.
So, yeah, I don't get how you think not taking the piece is better than taking the piece. Yeah, so I thought you had phantoms, and you took a long time, and you still didn't see chess to take the bishop. You actually had equality. This was a mistake. But this is a great example of the aggressor winning the game, even though it's a bad move, right? I mean, you should have just taken the bishop, but you were like, oh, if I take the bishop, he's going to win. And you didn't see the win. You fantasized that he might get positions that he couldn't get to. Like maybe that he was checking you here, so then he could slide over here and say check again. I mean, somehow you're fantasizing. But even if he did, that would just be getting back the piece and you would have lost a pawn. So it's still just a loss of a pawn. So one of the things that I want to teach you about, so first thing your brother helped me to show was following the principle of offensive, getting the initiative and keeping it. Has to be done within the principles, right? You can't play totally recklessly. You showed the example of being offensive. You can't give away too much of your armies because then you don't have the resource to be aggressive, right? We can't do a lot of trading as we're doing in this game. If you watch, we did a lot of trading in this game, and we can't. So like here's where I would have loved to seen you be aggressive. To me, this would have been being aggressive, right? I'm going to trade off. Yeah, my king's a little exposed, but I'm going to come after you. I'm going to do it now. I'm going to do it now versus later. I do like that you developed your queen, but I don't know about the square you developed it to. It's still on a white square. This isn't under attack really. He can actually try things like that, which I don't know if, yeah, it would work because you aren't hitting the queen yet. So I'm okay with you not developing the queen yet and you being aggressive, taking an offensive stance. You only have the queen left to develop, but we did. Even if you had taken here and then came out here with your queen, pretty obvious, easy to defend, not going to work. But that would be more aggressive. But I still don't like that you're trading off too many pieces because he puts the question to your bishop. You trade it. Now you have only two minor pieces to be on the offensive and aggressive with. He does have some backward-looking pawns that you might be able to leverage. So this was okay. I can't argue it. He does get a fork that you could have first moved your king out of the way so he wouldn't have that fork. There was no rush to this move. I don't fault you for it because I did want you to be aggressive. But, right, you have to still make sure that, and you don't have to make sure that you're not dropping things because that's the point of being aggressive. Liked it. Now, the next move, so again, we trade, right? So you could have pushed. And if you pushed, then we could try to get the rook over, maybe get the other rook over, maybe get you see what I'm saying? If you had said, I'm going to lock this up, not lock it up, but keep the bishop out. And the idea is that I want to sack over here eventually, but unfortunately, you don't have the right pieces in the right places to get any of that done. But that said, when you traded, you had to move the rook. Why'd you pick this file? Because my gut would have said, there's a thing called alignment that I'm supposed to be using. And I would have went for alignment. Because now you have threats of check and winning the queen. At least that's the threat. And it's alignment. And it's an open file. Once your bishop gets out of the way, that's an open file. So everything all my gut said, why am I not leveraging this open file and alignment with the queen? So that threw me off.
I don't remember why I put it there.
I mean, this works because if you take, he could take the queen, right? But I like your bishop here. I mean, I'd be okay with that. I can't sack it yet, but wow. I don't mind. I'd even bring it back and say, okay, you got my knight, which was on the rim doing nothing, and I got to keep my bishop. And I got rid of yours. Anyway, I don't know why you didn't align. I thought at the time that you might be trying to push this pawn and chase the queen, but that's not aggressive. I want to attack the king. And if I'm going to attack the queen, I want to win the queen. I don't want to attack it with a pawn. And yeah, you might say get your knight, maybe get your knight out of trouble. Maybe. But no, I would have liked this a lot better. All right, so 2 things we just learned, which was great to help me. Because last week when I did examples of the offensive and I play games and just played on the offensive, I didn't talk about these things that would mess you up. One, you still got to follow the principles. Don't bring your queen out early and attack only with your queen. And you still have to, and if you trade off all your pieces to take as a mistake, if you trade off all your pieces, you have nothing to be aggressive with. So we do have to look for opportunities to be aggressive, but not be reckless. There you go. Gridiron says trading pieces into a Sicilian structure is usually bad. It's why they play it at the top levels. Don't know if that's accurate, but I don't like it, and I don't like it here because there's no reason for you to trade down when you're trying to be aggressive. All right. I could play Gridiron, or you guys can play another game, and you don't have to play Gridiron. You can play a stranger. Your call. What do you guys want to do?
Not it.
Not it. All right. So Elijah, do you want to play Gridiron again? Do you want to play a stranger? You can just go out and find a game.
I can play Gridiron again.
Okay, go for it. He hasn't said he doesn't have time, so you should be able to get another game in.
Okay.
Not it, she says. So again, being aggressive works. You have WoW in 5 minutes, so I can do a 3+0 quickly, but that's it. That's all you get. You could do a 3+0.
Okay. 3+0. Okay.
All right.
Good.
All right. I'm going to mute off of the. You could keep talking. We can hear you, but now he can't hear me. So again, with this weirdness, which is, I mean, we just talked about that he's supposed to do this instead. So I don't know why he thinks that is aggressive, but we're here now. So yeah, I would have liked it if he had just dropped back right away. Now, pretty much forced the knight has to go to e5, right? I mean, it doesn't have to. It can go to other squares too, I guess. I like him on e5, threatening the bishop. In fact, the bishop takes bishop right now. I would take off his bishop and not take back. And I'd take the bishop now anyway, probably. Ooh, taking that one. He could pin the knight on f3. And he's just trading. See, this is what we just talked about with Catherine. We don't want chess trading. I'd rather him have pinned the knight. I wouldn't have minded if he took the knight on c4 because I thought it was not doing anything. I mean, it would just take away that power piece. But if you notice, we're getting tons of trading, which we talked about is not the way to play aggressive. This is not how you play aggressive. It's breaking the principles. We don't want to just trade off everything. He's down to very few pieces. Yeah. Wowzers. Open field
Sacrifice.
checkmate. That's a beautiful open field checkmate right there. That's an open, beautiful field checkmate. That's a beautiful thing. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Ah, that's so pretty.
He wanted revenge.
Yes, and he got it. Yeah, and this pin was not a pin. There was nothing there to pin. So that was a bad move. Yep, that was a bad move. And this I don't understand. So, let me unmute. So I don't understand your f6 move. I said you got to play within the principles. f6 breaks so many principles, and you're breaking it early. I don't understand breaking this print. Why not just develop the bishop?
He was going... Well, wait, no, at the beginning, I have no excuse for that.
Oh, okay. 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 You have no excuse. No excuse is better than trying to give me one. Yeah, I didn't get it. It took away the best square for the knight. It didn't develop a piece. It opened up the king. It broke every principle. And I just finished saying you're supposed to play by the principles. Yeah, and then you got into it. And then you got into trading a lot of pieces, which is the other thing I just said you're not supposed to do is trade a lot of pieces. So as an example here, instead of taking, which is trading pieces, you could have developed a piece. You could have developed a piece. That would have been keeping to the principles.
Yeah, I should have done that.
Yeah, well, instead you traded pieces, which we just talked about not doing. In worst case, if I'm going to take a piece, I'm going to take the bishop on c4. The knight has to take back. And then I get to pin the knight still because the queen is still there. And then I can maybe get this knight out and maybe finish developing. But this knight never developed. Never moved, and you got mated with it sitting there. That was pretty nice mate there. And that knight and queen never moved. And at the end of the game, he has 2 pieces developed and control of an open file. You have 1 piece developed. So he proved the principle quite well. Well, even if he's playing French lines, I don't play f6 unless I'm breaking open the advanced pawn on e5. Yes. If I'm not breaking open the advanced pawn on e5, then I'm not playing f6. Anyway, not bad, but not good because you broke the principles. All right, Gridiron, thank you for playing. We really appreciate it. Yes, I agree, Gridiron. I agree. All right, Catherine, did you want to play a game? Or are you worried about playing another game?
If you would like, sir.
I would like you to play another game. Maybe something like 10-0, 7-0, 8-0, and you can have an increment. You can do 5 + 5, 5 + 3. Something where you don't play too fast for yourself, but I need you to follow the principles and look for opportunities to be aggressive. And by that I mean look for opportunities to sacrifice either a pawn or a piece. Look for opportunities to pile up on a piece or a square. I want you to have an offensive, aggressive mindset, but I don't want you to be reckless. I don't want you to ignore principles. All right?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
all right.
Sir.
All right, let's see if we can get you to do that exemplified why. King is probably way too strong for you for this to give, and he knows what you're trying to do, so it's really not fair because then he'll just do it to you first or do it worse. So I'd probably prefer you just go out on the board and see if there's got to be games out there. People are looking for games, right? So just find a game.
Yes.
You found a game. There you go. All right, I'll mute so you can't hear me, so no one can accuse you of cheating. And I want to see if she can follow this principle. So what I'm learning is it's not enough to teach the principle of war, offensive or aggressiveness. It requires understanding how to go about this process. So this I like. This is good. I don't mind that at all. It's not anything free. The only part I don't like is it was tempting for trading pieces, and now she's trading again. She should have left the tension. So when we're trying to play aggressive, I want you to keep the tension. Now this wins a pawn, so I understand that, and it's aggressive in that sense. So I can't complain. I really can't complain about that. That's fine. Really, King? Thank you. I take that as a compliment. I don't know if it's a compliment or just a stated fact, but I like it. She's got to be careful because that last move she made with the B pawn was not good. That was not good. That was better because she was about to lose material. Now, should she trade? No, we just talked about this. But this is good because she got a free bishop because the rook is hanging. Now, that was good. That was good. That was good. Because her opponent takes, right? She attacked a piece, and instead of, okay, so she won that game. So let's go over that one real quick. All right, Catherine, not bad, not great, not bad. Let's talk about it real quick. It was a quick game, so we could go over it real quick. All right, here we go. I like it. I like it. You're playing a standard opening, and you're being, and so far you're not being aggressive, but you're developing, which, you know, if you develop properly, it is aggressive. I really like this. I really like this. This was good. This is what I'm talking about, being aggressive, going for opening up the board. Now, you have to be careful that you just don't get into a lot of trades. But I think you saw that you're either going to, by taking, you can either make black lose their ability to castle, and you're probably going to win a pawn, right? You're going to either win the f7 pawn by takes, if the knight takes, pawn takes, queen takes queen, king takes queen, and bishop gets to win the pawn. So that's, you win that pawn. Or the way it happened in the game where you take, he takes, you take queen, either he takes with the king and loses opportunity to castle, in which case he loses the pawn, or he takes with the knight and then he loses the e pawn. So that all, I'm with you, right? My first reaction was, why are you trading pawns? Keep the tension. I wanted you to keep the tension and just build up and get more pieces developed, because then you would probably have even a better chance to win material. But it does win a pawn. All right, so you do win a pawn. I can't complain. But now we get to where you need to continue being aggressive, right?
Yes.
And the next move you make, don't like.
I was going to try to bring out the bishop to a3 so that I could somehow get a checkmate with the other bishop taking the f7 pawn.
But how are you going to get to a3 with this bishop hanging here? Because what I didn't like about this is, what do you do now? Because the way I see it, you have two undefended pieces that you just made undefended, and you're allowing a fork, and I don't see how you benefit from this fork. Hey, chess is cool. I know. Well, especially I think Thinker Teacher. I don't know King, other than Thinker Teacher, because I love Sudaku's chess, and I wish he was still streaming, because I just love watching him stream, and I like him, and we had fun together. We did our own Pog Champs type tournament. Remember that? Remember our tournament? We put on a tournament, Catherine, where we found other beginning chess streamers, and we gave them chess lessons, and we held the tournament between these chess streamers so that the chess streamers would get, you know, more popular. We can leverage each other's audiences. And so, but it was kind of sad, because after a year after our big tournament, I mean, it was great. Sudaku Chess even made up a video. It was awesome. It was awesome. I still got it, of course, somewhere. But anyway, a year after our tournament, I think one of those, and we had like at least 8, if not, we tried to get 16. I think we got 8 or 12. Out of all those streamers that were in our chess tournament, only one of them was still streaming after a year. People, it's hard to keep doing it when you're not, you know, because I guess you get tired of it. You're not really making money. It's not the reason that you do it anyway. Yeah. We got 8 plus 2 people in the wings to replace them if they needed, and I think we had to replace some. Yeah, it was fun stuff. Anyway, yeah, I think her teacher, I think, was the only other person I know that was almost purely educational. So I think it's him and I are the only two that are purely educational. Neither one of us make any money. Neither one of us are big time, and that's okay by us. But he stopped. I think he was stopping because of health reasons, but he stopped. So I miss Thinker Teacher. I know he still comes out and watches stuff. He's been on my stream occasionally, but I miss him a lot, especially as an educational streamer. All right, anyway, so here, this is a mistake. You missed it. But it breaks the principle anyway because you're pushing a pawn. Now, you say you want to do this, but you can't do that, right? So here would have been great. You could have traded off. I know you would have had doubled pawns, but that's a bit of an aggressive attitude because then you castle and your rook is here and you have 3 pieces coming at him. You could do this and, you know, you could build up an attack. I wouldn't even have minded if you just did this right away. You know, maybe that's what you do for aggressiveness, but I really just want you to develop the bishop somewhere. It can even go here. And then if he chases, you can say, great, now you have an open king. But here's fine. Yes, I am king. Oh, yeah, well, you know, I think that happens. He wanted to, he was catering to a more advanced audience, I guess. I love working with beginners, and I feel like I can help beginners. I don't feel like I should be trying to coach a 1900 over the board player. Why? I mean, I'm a 1900 over the board player, 1958, 1940 something. I mean, right? I should be helping Catherine. I should be helping Elijah. I should be helping other people that want to get to 1800, not already are or above. Anyway. So, Catherine, you were so close. I wanted you to be aggressive. Be aggressive. Be aggressive. Okay. But anyway, don't like it. Computer hates it. Of course, I don't know it at the time, but at the time I know I didn't like it. This lets you off the hook because he had a fork. So at least you said, hey, whew. Did you notice the fork?
I think I noticed it, but in my mind it was going, oh, he can put the bishop there and that'll be a fork, but I can somehow with my magical powers move knights at the same time to different places on the board.
Ah, there you go with that fantasizing again. So if you had went here, you'd be okay, because if you went here, you could move that knight, right? And if you went here and he went here, you're in trouble because you can't move that knight. So that one would be I guess you could bring your king over. But the point is, yeah, this could have been played, which would have made sense that you played this, which is still a mistake. But you didn't even play this. You wouldn't play this anyway, in which case you should have played it right away. And then he blunders. Why? Because we talked about it. There's 6 things you could do when you're under attack. There's up to 6 things you could do when someone attacks you. You attacked an undefended piece. The thing that's right most of the time is to take. And he should have taken and doubled up your pawns. The thing that's right the least amount of the time, but when it's right, it's a game changer, is to attack something of equal or greater value. And he's attacking something of equal value. But the mistake is, it's protected. His is not. So you just took the free piece. This time you took the free candy. If he takes here, I think you're going to take the rook. Because then right? And if he takes back the rook, you take back the bishop. If he moves his bishop, you move your bishop. And you just won a bishop and a rook for a bishop, so you're up a free rook. And if he takes your bishop, then you're up a free bishop. So you're pretty much up free candy. Now you didn't have to. If you took here, you could have just taken here and you're still up free candy. You're still up a full bishop. But why not grab the rook too? You missed those championships. Yeah, the championship, that was fun. Yes, yes. Well, thank you. Thank you. Well, it'd be nice if you know, while I say I don't do it for the money, I don't. While I say I don't do it for fame, I don't. It would be nice to have thousands of people following and thousands of people joining us on stream for the lessons. That would be nice. I'm not going to lie about that. It would be nice to get more people better through our lessons. But it is what it is. All right. So, Catherine, close. Still not there, right? Still not following the principles of developing our pieces when we have the opportunity, like here. Would have loved, by the way, you're winning here. 1.8, you're up because you got a free pawn. And you got a lot of threats going, but I want a castle, maybe even queenside castle. Sack the pawn, remember? Sack things. So maybe I could sack the pawn. Maybe I could bring the bishop to here, castle queenside, sack the pawn, bring the rook over, threaten the bishop, and then, have 1, 2. Again, I'm back to trying to have a lot of pieces attacking that square. You could have fun. So you were close. You were close. So do you understand what we're shooting for, though?
I believe so, sir.
Why are you sitting out of your WoW game? I don't understand. I don't understand WoW that much, but why are you sitting out? Do you need a team or something? Yes, it is. I agree. We're not high on the entertainment. I don't curse. I don't scream. I don't do anything like that. And yes, it's educational, and it's shorter. Some people do 5-hour streams, right? Oh, well, okay, that's interesting. All right, Gridiron. All right, so you do understand, though. You said, Catherine, you feel better about that. You understand how this works. So
Yes, sir.
I think what we could do for the next 8 lessons, maybe more, is we could take each one of the principles and try to teach you, like I'm going to be writing in my book eventually, about using the principles, and just see if you can leverage those principles. And then, so this episode I can put on YouTube, and we'll call this the principle of offensive. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay. Cool. Well, the thinking is if you're on enough hours and enough days, then more people can find you, right? If you're only on, like right now I'm on it for an hour and a half, 2 nights, only people that are on at those nights are going to find me. So it just gives you more exposure. Anyway, all right. So you guys think you got it. We have 15 more minutes left. Elijah, your turn. Let's find a game. Go out and find a random person. They don't have to be random, but go out and find somebody.
Individual, if you will.
Yes, please. And let's have you be offensive, and I will mute so no one can accuse you of cheating ever. And I do like you playing rated because that way you see your improvement and you're playing for something. So I have no problem with that. I think that's the better way for all of us to play our games, especially online where your rating doesn't matter. My gosh. So I've been playing Gridiron a ton of games on chess.com, and I don't care if I win or lose. I'm trying stuff every once in a while. I'm just experimenting. I'm like, I wonder how bad this could be or how good this could be. And I could sit down and figure it all out if I really was worried about winning and decide if I should do it or not. But I'm not. And so I think it's more fun to have Gridiron show me if it's a mistake or not. And I get to do it faster and in an enjoyable way to do it. Oh no, what's wrong with checking the followage? That's weird. No, I did fix Nightbot. That's not Nightbot though. I don't know what followage is from. It might be. Okay, let me mute. So I don't know where followage is from. I don't know if that's Nightbot, to be honest. Okay, let's see if he doesn't play F6 anymore. Would make me a happy camper. If he never ever played F6 again, I would be so happy. Really. I mean, Ben Feingold, yes. Don't play. And what is this? Why is he doing the queen out early again? It's like he won't learn the lesson of not moving the queen out early. I don't get it. And now we've traded off everything. He's down to 2 minor little pieces. How is he going to be aggressive with no pieces? Don't understand. Okay, you better castle. Because he's about to have he will almost have a discovered attack on the queen, and it would skewer through it would just be bad. This is fine. As long as he doesn't panic, this is fine. He is going. I like that. At least now he's putting his queen out in an aggressive stance, and he can fight for the open file. So I have no problem with this. But we're getting to an endgame. He's going to get to an endgame. Oh, free rook. Will he see it? He does. He sees everything. His opponent will not resign. I'm surprised. Yep. Yeah, it was very dead position, and that's why I was saying I don't see. He's not going to be able to be aggressive when everything has been traded off. Good move by his opponent. He's being a little aggressive himself. And he's getting his queen into strange places. But no, again, if he just doesn't get scared, if he just takes his time and takes the pawn, yep. No reason not to take the pawn. No real threats here. Nothing to see here, folks. I really like queen to c6 followed by a rook onto e8 to get rid of all the rook, to get rid of the rook. But he makes Luft instead. I can kind of understand the fear factor here, but I would have went queen to c6 followed by a rook. I still like queen to c6 followed by a rook move because then he's done. You got to trade off everything. Yes, the only other student. So I only have 2 students on Tuesdays, and now I'm doing my adult lessons on Wednesdays. So on Wednesday I have Murph, and on Tuesdays I have the kids. So that's how I've separated them. So now he's going to be able to trade off the rooks, and he just has to worry about not getting checkmated with that. I might have taken with the queen. I think that might have been better for him. But we'll see what happens. Gotta say, he's being aggressive. We told him to be aggressive, and he's being aggressive. Now what? I do like he's being aggressive. I've been able to do them. I got busy. I was doing other things on Fridays, so I talked to Najas, and he was fine with it, but I took off. I stopped doing that day. I couldn't do them all, so I stopped doing that day. I hope to get back to doing Fridays, but I had to stop at the time. Going pawn hunting, folks. We're going pawn hunting, I guess. I think he can get away with it. Nice here is he only has one legal move. That keeps him out of trouble because he only had one legal move. And the queen can't go to h8, which is another nice thing for him. Yeah, no, Metal Eagle dropped out of them anyway. He was busy with things. And in fact, I don't think he was streaming much anymore. I think he's still doing YouTube, but not streaming a regular on Twitch. And I was only doing it with Nobleron, So hopefully I'll get back to doing it with Nobleron. That's my goal. I enjoy those very much. And so my plan is to get back to doing those, but I'm just not doing them yet. I really would have liked g5. I don't understand why he just gave away that pawn. I really would have liked g5. g5 would have been so much better. g5 would have been so much better. I don't know why he did that move. And here I think he could have checked and gone for a draw, because if he moved his king up, then you got this check and you would have won the rook. I think he would have won the rook, unless there was a pawn there at the time. But I think he missed an opportunity. But now he's just giving back all those pawns that he was so enamored with winning. He's